Warm welcome, dear one. In the monthly roundtable meeting we had yesterday, our topic was healthy boundaries. Participant of last month gave this inspiration out, and it's a really beautiful topic, and it was really a lot of fun and deep insight to prepare this. And my roundtable meetings, they are just for people that I know, but I decided a few months ago that I will share the slides I am always starting our meeting with, and share with you the most important points and topics here publicly, so you will benefit from this. Also, if this topic is interesting for you, and hope you will find a lot of inspiration in it. Yeah. So I will start to share my screen for the presentation. So yeah, the Roundtable of Tribal Wisdom is the name of those meetings, and this month the topic was healthy boundaries. And yeah, to have healthy boundaries is really crucial in all areas of lives. So it's a huge topic. Yeah, and our roundtable meetings take place via Zoom every third Sunday in a month. And in case you want to throw me a message, just email me at roundtable@natalieesser.com. So yeah, in those meetings we have the intention that the tribe is counseling the tribe, because everybody is bringing something to the table, some questions, some insights, some experiences, because we all hold beautiful wisdom inside of us. And in those meetings, our intention is that everyone who is coming to the table is seen as a sovereign, infinite being and treated with love, honor, and respect. And I started yesterday with saying, okay, if everybody would be able to do so, we wouldn't have any issues with healthy boundaries. Yeah. So something I have experienced myself, and many people told me that, especially in the last year, many people started to create a kind of bubble in their life that is like a happy island. So many people I know, they actually have been quite well while the lockdown, because they just created their personal life in a way where they are happy. And I think that includes me. I'm very happy being on my own, and yeah. It is, but also very often, as I deal a lot with people with trauma and abuse, very often this is also what people create as a coping mechanism, as actually human beings are very sociable beings. And so this, to create this happy island is actually, it's a coping mechanism, but it's a good one. It's a good one to start with, because we have to feel safe in our own space. That is crucial for us before we can have any interactions with other people and have any kind of relationships. So yeah, that's not the goal, but it's a starting point. So, okay. And that one I found funny. I'm sensing you may still have some boundary issues, do not cross. And that is true because if we just stay in our own space, nothing can enter and we cannot leave. And yeah, it's not good for us to not have relationships and to not have interactions with other people. And actually that's almost not possible, yeah, unless you really go on an island, yeah. And yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, healthy boundaries for healthy relationships. If your relationships don't give you any private room and space, and you just feel that you are yeah, kind of overwhelmed from them, and we have to find this fine balance, this fine line, this really point of balance, and that is the goal. Yeah. Very often, if we have issues with setting boundaries, very often we might be very much so on the empathic side of life, and we might have learned to always focus on the other, and the focal point is always on how can I serve the other, how can I make them feel good, and what is the other thinking, what is the other expecting, and it's always the other, the other, the other. So we are actually with our energy always goes out, and so we cannot have healthy boundaries in that case. If we focus on the other, we are actually hand over our own power. And power equals responsibility. We cannot take other people's responsibilities, and we can also not hand over our responsibilities to others. That's really not working on the long run and is quite unhealthy. And in the English language, there's the saying of standing their own ground. And I would say if we are not standing our own ground, someone else will, because then they will kind of enter our space. And seen from an energetic standpoint, as I'm working a lot with energies, it's if our energy is not present in our own field, it will be filled with the energy of another person. That's the way it is and how energies are working. So the most important thing is think about responsibility. What are you responsible for? What are you not responsible for? And yeah, stand your own ground. Be present in your own life. Very often we are afraid of conflict. If we have issues with setting boundaries, I know I really dislike conflict, or I disliked conflict, I have to say, because it's much better now. And if you have issues with setting boundaries, maybe ask yourself, what is it actually that makes it so hard to set boundaries? Maybe you made unpleasant experiences when you did set boundaries, but being a former people pleaser, I can tell you the results of not setting boundaries are worse than setting boundaries. And also I can tell you, for example, I have often allowed people too much space in my space, and then I had to set a boundary, and then they are way more upset than if you say it from the get-go. Yeah. So if you first allow something and then you say, no, I'm not comfortable with that, that makes it worse even also. So please ask yourself, why are you having issues with setting boundaries? What is it that you fear? And look your fear in the eye, because very, very often we find that the fear has no foundation, or that actually the result is a good one, because if you have people in your life that cannot accept you and your boundaries, it's actually a good thing to have a conflict with them and to end those relationships. Yeah, it's unpleasant in the first moment, but the result is a good one. So yeah, it would be really, really helpful if you find out exactly what it is that you fear and look such a fear in the eye, because you can really overcome that. And yeah, it's really totally typical for what I call the unhealed empath to feel for the other, but we need to feel for ourselves. What is it that we need, and really not leave ourselves for the other. Yeah, to really stay energetically with ourselves and to really take ourselves seriously and yeah, take care for ourselves. Yeah, here's a definition of a boundary as a place where your responsibility ends and another person begins. It stops you from doing things for others that they should do for themselves. And a boundary also prevents you from rescuing someone from the consequences of their destructive behavior that they need to experience in order to grow. Because what I found, and I really have to say, I did this also myself, although I used to have sometimes issues with setting boundaries, I was also overstepping other people's boundaries in a way that I wasn't even aware, because I was overcaring, for example, and I always felt responsibility for other people. And so it is like shadow or a blind spot that actually the people who don't like others to invade their space might actually invade other people's space also, maybe with the best intentions. And also people who are overstepping your boundaries, they may think they have to somehow help you because they know better, and yeah, they are convinced they are right, and and maybe you have been that person for others. So again, it is everyone has an own life and is responsible for their own life, and make sure you know where your responsibility ends and where someone else's begins, and don't be overcaring towards other people. Don't think you have to rescue them, and don't allow others to yeah, to overstep your boundaries. In case you are setting boundaries, and yeah, pay attention when people react with anger and hostility to your boundaries, you found the edge where their respect for you ends. And that is true, as I said in the beginning, our intention for the roundtable to really see each other as sovereign beings and treat each other with love, honor, and respect. If everybody would be capable of that, we wouldn't have any boundary issues. Yeah. And yeah. People may overstep your boundaries unwillingly or are just not aware. And if you are saying, okay, I don't want that, and the other can't respect that, that's not a good thing at all. Yeah. Normally the other person, if the other person is just having a good intention and didn't want to really overstep your boundaries, you would say, you know, I want to do this on my own or something like that. They would just respect that and maybe apologize for overstepping your boundaries. As I said, I used to be over king, but if someone would tell me, no, I want to do this on my own, and no, that's my business, not yours, I would have apologized, because yeah, I never had this intention to really cross the line and to not be respectful. So I think this is actually really, really important moment. Now I really curiously observing such a situation in case I have to set a boundary and say, no, I don't want to do this, or no, I don't want you to do this, or no, this is for me, that's not good for me, I don't want that. I observe how the other is reacting, because this is telling a lot about the other person. So it always shows I like truth a lot, and so it is always a very telling moment. As I said, very often people don't have any bad intention, but if their reaction is really that they react with anger or really upset, then you know they have an issue. Yeah. So yeah, to set boundaries, we really have to own our own space, and that is key. And to me, that it has a lot to do with energy, our energy really being present within us. So our space is filled with our own energy. And we also have to be really clear for us what we stand for. What are our boundaries? Are we present in our own being, in our own life? Can people see and feel actually where they end and we begin? I found it really, really interesting. My issue with having, in the past, with setting boundaries had a lot to do with, of course, my upbringing, but also thousands of years in in the false light, religious, and now in this lifetime, new agey education about selflessness. Selflessness is totally stupid. We are not incarnating to be selfless. We are incarnating to be ourselves, to express ourselves, to have those experiences in on this planet. So who are we? What are we standing for? If this is not to be felt or seen, or expressed in some way, um, you are like a kind of cloud. And I found out that was stunning for me, because that is totally alien to my own personality, that a lot of people, they actually like conflict, kind of, and they really like to test where your boundaries are. And so they want to know what you stand for, and who you really are. And they cannot experience this if we are just this floating being, yeah, and our energy is not really present in our life. And if we are not clear, and they might actually really challenge you just to see you say stop. There's some people out there, I'm sharing this here because I couldn't imagine that this could be fun for some people. But for some people, that is just like a game of fun, because they're very different, and they might come from the other side, where they really have to learn to be more sensitive and more respectful towards others, and to really see that this can be kind of um, behavior of someone who is more on the predator side of life, yeah. And yeah, but also people want to really they want to feel us, and they I've seen people relax when I was showing some boundaries, and that was an interesting experience. So it's actually not always a good thing. We might think it's a good thing to be so open and nice and being so agreeable. It is not. It is not. And yeah. So ask yourself if you are present, and if people can really see and feel where they end and you begin, and maybe ask a good friend how they perceive you. As for us, it seems normal. Yes, of course, here I am. Yeah. Well, maybe for the other, that's not as clear it is for you. And as I said before already, if we show our boundaries, truth shows itself. And that's always a good thing. And real friendship can also deal with different opinions, for example. And that's why I enjoy kind of in between, if truth shows itself, because I don't have enough energy, money, attention, time, whatever, to share it with people who are not really a match for myself. And I just want people in my life that are able to respect me, and who are really interested in me, and not just want someone to listen to them, and to always not whatever they are sharing and whatever they are interested in. If they are not interested in me as a person, so this will show. If they just want kind of a copy or a background for their own experience, that's not a real friendship. And so I'd rather have very, very few people in my life, but the right ones. And yeah, um, I prefer good company, even if that would mean I would be totally on my own. What actually also is never the case, because while we might actually sometimes bang at some doors that we want to open, we might oversee people who are really interested in us. And if we have been really, really hurt and wounded in the past, we might not see, if we have this image of ourselves of nobody wants us, we are lonely, or something like that. That's not the case. That is just the own image we are sending out, and we might totally oversee all of those people who might be a little bit shy, not want to intrude our space, but who are actually really interested in us. And so setting boundaries might be a moment that might be a little bit painful if you were thinking that someone is close to you and is really interested in you, and then you have to find out that is not the case. But it's really, really freeing, I can tell you, because then if you kick out all of those people who are not really interested in you, first of all, you have the space to really heal yourself. And then you will see that other people might then show up or make themselves more visible, that have been just in the background, and who are really a match for you. So yeah, love yourself enough to only allow people in your life who are real friends and who are really interested in a good relationship with you. So it's always good to clean out the own life, just like we are cleaning our homes and like we are cleaning our bodies. We also have to clean out our relationships and focus on those people and circumstances that make us grow and who are not holding us back or are even harming us. Yeah, that's important. And that's a quote I found. Stop putting the needs of others before your own. And if you are very much on the empathic side of life, and as I said, might have to do with childhood, where we have only been validated for being helpful, what is very often the case because the adults have been, overwhelmed themselves and didn't have much space and attention for the children. So it might be we have only been validated if we have been helpful for other people, or if we, made others happy in some way. And in this way, we learn to be people pleaser and be a pleaser of yourself. It's also, um, we are educated to not be selfish. And I can tell you one thing, I'm someone who is assisting other people a lot. And I can tell you, we are only capable of assisting others if we are well. And so this selflessness thing is really, really stupid. We really have to be ourselves. We have to be fulfilled and happy people before we are even able to really have good impact on other people's life without depleting ourselves. And so really self-care is has to be the top priority. And yeah, theory and real life. Remember when we talked about boundaries? Because this is one thing that all that I'm sharing, not just this topic, but every time We are sharing wisdom and insights, and all videos you might watch. There's one thing to know it theoretically and to really live it in a practical way, because life takes us by surprise. And yeah, then we have a situation showing up. We really have to, it's very often a try and error thing, real life. So all I can share here are insights, experiences, wisdom, and all you can do is yeah, you might ponder about it and ask yourself and where you want to set boundaries, and that is really important. But then we have to really try in real life uh, to really live it, and uh, we will always have some situations like that, yeah, where it might be a little bit too much and too close, yeah. Okay, so yeah, summarizing thoughts, um, that we are the ones who are defining our boundaries. There is no need to justify them. That is something I find interesting. Um, that is really, really interesting if you just say, no, I don't want to. No, I don't feel like. And we don't have to explain that all the time. Um, Again, it's a fine line. Sometimes a person might ask you to just to understand you a little bit better, or if you really have to defend your decisions, you don't have to defend and justify yourself. Not at all. A no is a full sentence, like someone once said, and that is true. Boundaries are an inside job, and you have to be convinced. Um, I've observed that very, very often, that if we just say the words, but we are not feeling it, we could have, yeah, um, we could have just not said those words, because if we don't mean it, people feel that. There is so much communication actually taking place non-verbally, just with our body language, the tone of our voice, or just energetically. And if we don't mean it, others will feel that. So we really have to work on ourselves to really find those clarity, to really find out who are we, what are we standing for, and to really be present in our life. And as boundaries have a lot to do with energy, um, one participant yesterday evening, he was also recommending martial arts. And I think that is true, because I met a few people who have actually been teaching martial arts, who were showing me a reaction if you feel kind of attacked physically, how this is an energetic thing. And as the participant yesterday said, that maybe especially for women, it might be a good thing to actually have made the experience that we are capable of standing our ground, that we really, so it is no longer a theory. So you have really experienced who you are. You're able to stand your ground in a physical way. That will also help you in other situations in life to define who you are, and to have this yeah, this competence, showing this competence in your life, to know who you are. Also, if people are testing your boundaries, they might try to cause all kinds of dramas and arguments. And again, it's not so much the words. Watch the energy. Don't hook yourself into unwanted stuff energetically. Also, with setting boundaries, for example, if you are watching TV, to not get lost in what you see. So it is really, it's a decision if you want to energetically engage. This is what I mean with to hook into. Do you want to energetically engage? And if you are, for example, tell someone, no, I don't want that, there is your energy that is with you, with yourself, and to not be on the other side. So then you are energetically hooked into the other, and the other who, for example, might then demand that you explain you why and try to argue with you and convince you to make another decision. That's not good from an energetic standpoint. Don't hook into those energetic stuff that is no good. Yeah. And yeah. If you have any ideas or stories you want to share, or any tips and tricks, and you might comment below or just throw me a message at roundtable@nataliesser.com. Yeah, because this is what we normally do in our roundtable meetings with the participants. And here this is just for you, for your insights. You can discuss this with your friends, or as I said, if you have something you would like to share with me and with other people watching the video, that would be awesome. So I don't want to take more from your time. I could talk for days about that, have a whole webinar or something like that. But I think those are some main points that might be actually inspiring for you. I hope, yeah, you will find something that might be useful for you. So have a great time, and yeah, see you next time. Thank you for watching, and yeah, take care.